consume video anyway. So I think if we could just kind of jump right in with, do you have any like quick stat that's going to make somebody go, oh, goddamn, what, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think the primary one is that, 80 to 90% of buyers don't want to talk to a salesperson until they're ready to buy because they've done their research online.
Yeah, totally.
Let me pull up one other thing here real quick. How you been?
So good, man. It's
That's
just
awesome.
like, it's all going up and to the right.
Awesome. I'm getting a lot of momentum. So
good. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just check the white balance on my camera. 1 second. Okay.
So 73% of buying decisions are made by millennials.
Wow. Is that this is in corporate context?
Yes.
73% of buying decisions made by millennials in a corporate context.
Correct.
Okay, so right now there is a big and growing disconnect between how most B2B organizations are interacting with their audience and how that generation is looking to be interacted with, or how they want to go into the buying journey. Can you tell me about that disconnect?
Well, I think the disconnect is that the business world is using 1995 sales tactics to attract and retain customers, and it's more in a salesy presentation. Send your sales team out to go knock on doors, try and meet customers, persuade them. In reality, when you look at the modern buyer, they do their research online. 80 to 90% don't want to talk to a sales rep until they're ready to buy. And usually the time that they want to talk to a sales rep, it's because they either hit a friction point, and they need some information they're not finding online, or they're ready to buy and they just want to know how do we get started? Like, how do I buy? Right. I think if businesses started to think about two things, the demographics that are in the workforce, like there's baby boomers and there's 4 generations below it.
Yeah.
And if you're workers, and if you think about the companies that you're selling to, if they're predominantly not baby boomers, the other generations use the internet like crazy. This is how they work. And that behavior, they do the research online, and when they're doing their research, they prefer video as a tool to consume. Now, another disconnect is when companies do adapt video, they typically overproduce, loud music, trying to come up with a branding vibe. Right. Nobody cares. They don't care about they don't care about your sponsorship. They don't care about, any of that. What they want is they want to be educated. So less production quality, kind of in the middle to actually low end, where a sales rep is just in front of a camera, or subject matter expert is in front of a camera. Like you are, like you're sitting right at your desk and you're talking about products, what problems, not feature benefit videos, but what problems that video or that product, what problems it solves.
So this is really coming into contrast for me recently, just as a buyer. So I'm Gen X, and as a buyer, I am starting to, if you step back, I can reflect on how I buy now versus how it used to be that I would buy things. And especially when you're talking about like high ticket items. And what I see is like, there's this, it's very clear to me that the behaviors that I have in like a household consumer, right, purchasing journey is just like what you're talking about. I mean, doing all my research online. I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to different advisory groups. I mean, I'm looking at how-to videos and problem-solving videos and this type of stuff, review videos. And ironically, like almost none of them are coming from the companies because the companies aren't supplying them. And I end up going through that journey myself. And then when I come to work and sit down at my desk, I become a worker, and now I'm in a B2B context, and everything about the way that I operate just as a human psychologically and the way that I want to buy has apparently gone out the window, because none of the B2B organizations that I'm trying to interact with or have a journey with, the first thing I get is, hey, let's get you on for a demo. I'm like,
no,
that's number 9. Can we do 1 through 8 first, please?
Yeah. So true. That buying experience. So when you think of your household items, and just even in a business level, the ideation comes from a need, like, oh, we got to fix that. Now or I'm inspired by something I saw online or in social, or, a referral. And what do? I'm going to Google. And when I Google, if the company website comes up and demonstrates that they're the subject matter expert and, better yet, authority in their space, I'm going to learn from that link first, right? Because I want to make sure I'm on the right, I'm looking at the right product. I got the right company. I'll go there first.
Yes.
And then I'll go to YouTube for a deeper education or reviews. And then, household products, and unfortunately, a lot of commercial products, people go to Amazon to get their valuation. So inspiration on the internet and social.
Yeah.
Education on YouTube, or I should say education via video.
Sure. Right? Totally.
On a corporate website or YouTube. And then certainly reviews on YouTube. And then, hey, how much does this cost? I'm going to Amazon. I'm going to see how much this cost.
So let me tell you who I'd love to buy from on a consumer purchase basis. I love to buy from B&H. So I'm a big audio video guy, cameras, whatever. Why do I love buying from B&H? Really good videos doing exactly what you're talking about. They do the unboxing videos. They do the, how do you use this? They do the review videos. And you're right. It's not overproduced. It's their people. I recognize that guy. I've seen 40 reviews from that guy on products. He just breaks them down. He knows how to use a camera because he's a camera user, right? And now I'm getting the information from him about what he likes and what he doesn't like. And it's like, how perfect. Even though B&H obviously benefits from selling every one of these, the reviews are honest, they're real, and they're from a person who knows how to use cameras. I also love Pixel Film Studio. So this is, right? So you get all the plugins and the extra effects that you can buy when you're doing your Final Cut or whatever studio you're in. Tutorials. How do you use these things? How do you get the most out of them? When you're trying to create a cool effect, here's where this thing goes. Here's where that's amazing. Right. So what I'm curious about is I want to hear more from you. Like, what other companies do this well? And have you ever seen a company do it that well in the B2B context?
Probably right now, less than 1% of companies do it right. Right. And helping sales teams. So I think there's a couple of different levels here.
Yeah.
To do it right, you got to have the company all in, and that video, they're going to be a video centric. Their information is going to be video centric.
Yeah.
And the goal is to dominate that buyer's attention. Right. So that's the other, information is the new commodity.
Yeah.
And now attention is what we're all focused on. It's not mind share. It's just, let me get your attention. And I think when a company is all in on video as a way to deliver information, the transition that happens is the process or the journey, customer journey. So if a company really thinks about the journey, when they come to a website, if they go to a trade show, right, and they go, here, go to our go to this particular site, QR code, have a landing page. Landing page has a video, says, great seeing you at the show. Fill out this form. But before you fill out this form, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after that form's filled out. everyone's got, anxiety when they have to fill out a form. Why? Because they're going to get spam. They're going to get, whatever. So you get that out of the way. You go, here's what's going to happen. You were interested in some stuff in our booth, and we're going to call you. We're going to email you once, and a sales rep may call you just so you know who your sales rep is.
Yeah.
And that's it. We don't sell your information. We're not going to put you on a mailing. We're not going to just jam that into our CRM for email blasts that you're not signed up. You signed up for show information. You're not going to get just lumped into getting a bunch of spam.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge win, right? Then being able to take all their products and informations, obviously, what problems does it solve? And then, like, when you look at a lot of websites where it's text, like a mission statement or about us, right? Those are videos. Those are absolute gold.
Totally agree.
If you grab, and that's a script, right? You don't even have to do anything. Just read that.
It's right there. Yeah.
It's right there. And if you start thinking like that and you look at all the content that's on your website, you'll be blown away at how many videos you can create out of the gate. So you're doing this process.
Yeah.
It requires a company to bring on a videographer full time. That's our recommendation.
Yeah.
Because when you work with outsource it to an agency, you don't have guarantee you're going to be a priority. You're constantly checking schedules and going back and forth, trying to get them in, do whatever.
Yep.
And they're overpriced. I mean, at the end of the day, I've got a phone here that shoots 8K. I can do 90% of what we want to accomplish with this.
Totally.
Now we recommend upgrading, if you're going to do it all in, have a space that you can record stuff, have a thing that you can just flip on and you're
all in, baby.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I think that when sales teams learn how to use all that new content in the sales process and use a product like, Vidyard, Wistia, Vimeo, and the embed a video in an email.
Yeah.
Is super powerful. So that in itself, when you send a video in an email, your email is 4 times more likely to be opened and consumed.
100%. Yeah. Totally agree with that. So I had now 2 questions based on where you're going. The first one is, I kind of want your guidance on this, because I interact with companies from 2 guys running the show to 1,000 people companies. And I'm going to guess you might have, maybe there isn't, but I'm hoping there's some kind of rough guidance right about the time you hit X in revenues or X in size or whatever. You should think about what you just said was this full-time videographer. Okay. So the 2-guy company that I know, that's probably not going to be their third hire, but the 50-person company that I know, hey, that might be exactly what they need to do. What's the guidance you have on that?
So great question. Cause I just went through this yesterday with a startup.
Okay.
They're a AI software. Actually, you know them well.
Oh yeah, sure. Yes, I do.
Yeah. AI software, and they're a startup, and, they're waiting for their next seed of funding, and they pretty much have their budget locked in. And what I recommend is, if they're ready to get started, but maybe not ready to commit to get that videographer on board, think in terms of filling a gap.
Yeah,
you have to have the goal, right? So I'm cool with hiring a scrappy, videographer that's willing to come in and work projects, right?
Yeah, totally. Sure.
It's, just project based, or X time a week, following my guidance. And as long as he stays within our guardrails, then I'm okay with that for the first month or 2.
Sure.
But what I want to caution is that, once we do that and then they're ready to hire somebody, we have to start over. Like, we got to retrain this guy. And the goal really is that guy is, the company's in his blood. I
get you. Yeah.
Right?
I get
you. He's a revenue generating machine.
Yeah. He's not a cost center.
No, he works directly for sales.
Right.
He's tied to revenue, not cost.
So if you think about, like, all right, I think people who have this initial instinct, response when they hear, wow, hire a videographer on staff. How the hell am I going to keep that person that busy? So give me, I mean, I know, like, I'm sitting here like clearly having the answer to this question, but I want to hear this from you. Like, what are your thoughts? Because I mean, you could probably be telling me things that person could be doing for the next hour, but just give me the top of the surface so that we have an understanding of the magnitude we're talking about here.
Yeah. Pull my string.
Yeah. Yeah.
We sit down with the executive leadership team and the sales teams. It's their voice.
Right.
And what we start with is frequently asked questions that they get asked on a regular basis, or have to repeat the answer on sales calls over and over and over. So when that happens, depending on the size of the company, and I just worked with a company not too long ago, he's like, oh, we get a couple of questions over and over again. Yeah. Okay. And so I met with the sales team. We came up with 100 in about 4 hours.
Yeah, sure you did.
100.
Yes.
I'm working with a sign company.
Yeah.
And the aha that they had was, what's the process when you need to buy a sign? So the ScrappyAF above you, the Evolve sign, right? Like, what do I have to go through, and what do I have to go through before making a purchase? And so instead of that salesperson or customer service being the repeated educator over and over and over, send them to your website, have a guided journey of like, these are the different types of signs. Click here for, vinyl, click here for plexi, click here for steel, and all are going to be different. And that's a great example of like being able to boil down something complex and make it simple.
Yeah. I get this. I just finished yesterday. Finally made the purchase. Bought a hot tub. Hot tub is like a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 purchase. First thing we tried to do, because we remembered this happening, we went to the Sonoma County Fair, because for the last, I don't know how many decades, when you go to the Sonoma County Fair, they have the 2 or 3 hot tub vendors. They don't do that anymore. They're not there. Fine. Oh. So the next thing was, we had a close friend who said, well, I got my hot tub on Costco, and like something happened to it 8 years later, and they totally took care of me. Like, we're going to Costco. So went to Costco and thought that it was going to be somewhere between the refrigerators and the stovetops that they sell against the wall past the registers. I'm like, it must be over there. So we went there. Nope, we don't have it in the store anymore. It's all online. Really? So then, like, it was probably 10 days of when I had time. I was looking at videos. I'm online. I'm on my self-guided journey, figured it out. I mean, they sell 16 different hot tubs. I already figured out it was going to be Costco, but I never talked to a salesperson once. Fully managed my own journey. Credit card out of pocket, purchase done. It's going to be here in 6 weeks. Classic, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I bought a 3D printer, 3-in-1 3D printer laser, CNC. I've never used any of those. I got addicted to their videos. Yeah. I got addicted.
Yeah.
I was seeing all the cool stuff you could make, and how easy it is. And it's a very low cost to enter.
Right.
It was like $1,700. It was, and I never talked to anybody. Yeah.
Wow.
They're in China.
Yeah.
I never talked to anybody. Now, you think about 20 years ago, you would never pull $1,700 out of your pocket. You couldn't.
No, sure.
Unless you knew you were at your buddy's house and you saw that one and you're like, yep, I want that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a 4x increase in like open and response rate on emails. I mean, like paint the rest of that picture for me, right? I mean, first of all, if you're dealing with standards, you're in 3 to 5, maybe if you're doing well, 5% response rate on the emails that you're sending out, especially if you're doing that move you were talking about earlier, where it's just drip emails off the list of people who came to the conference. It's way worse if that's what you're doing. But I mean, like, that's a massive increase. 4x is a massive increase. So first is like, is that really true? Number 2 is draw that down the line. Like, ultimately, if you want to look at how that's going to change your income statement, how's that going to play out?
As far as like an ROI?
Yeah, you could think of it as ROI, but like if you just take that first impact and then run it through, let's say your MQL, your SQL conversion rates, and then you got your revenues. I mean, does this actually translate to you should expect a 4x increase in revenues, or how does that really play out?
So once your customers get over the novelty, and your salespeople start to use it as a utility, and what we train is use it with intention, meaning be very specific in your outreach and what value you bring to the conversation. And if you know the customer, you already pre-identified some of the things that they, some of the pains that they might have, and, start there. The more relevant and more helpful you are, I would challenge that the 4x goes up. It'll go up more.
Wow.
Yep. And what people don't want to read. So COVID taught us this, right? When COVID happened and everybody's working from home, their emails, a buyer's email, B2B buyer, call me out, their emails doubled.
Yeah.
Right? Doubled.
Yeah.
Because no one else had any other way to contact them. Totally. You're not going to answer their phone. Right? So doubled.
Yeah, couldn't get them at the conferences, couldn't reach them at the office with mailers. That was the channel. It just became the channel.
Yep. And buyers also found it a really helpful way to not see those bad personalities, right?
Yeah.
Like people, they just, send me the info, I'll take a look at it. They're not going to come to his house. So we coach sales teams how to use attention, but also if you think of the library that ideal library that's already created, you're taking product videos that solve a problem. You're taking value statements that are about your company that are specific to that buyer's interest, right? The alignment. It's being able to align them with them. That is a much better journey and then getting to your website to consume more, like depending on how companies, what their buying process is, but get them to your website. Your website should be selling 24/7. It should be the resource of truth,
right?
For everybody, your dealers, your distributors, their salespeople, your employees. If we know, like people go to websites and they, if they can't find what they're looking for, out.
Yeah.
If it's just text, out.
Totally, man. Yeah. The stats on how much more traction you get on a website or from a website that has video on it versus a website that doesn't. I mean, get into that research. It's going to take you 2 minutes to reach the firm conclusion. I need video on my website. Same thing with your social posts. The difference in engagement that you get on video for your social posts. This is like 1,200% increase.
Right.
Like, okay. So clearly need to be doing that.
Yeah. I got a pet peeve. The industry that I was in, I see on LinkedIn, which I think this box on LinkedIn is gold. It's free. It's your TV to the world. You got 1 second to grab somebody's attention.
Right.
And if you can do it right, you're going to be able to control the narrative and the call to action.
Yes.
So my pet peeve is I see a lot of these press releases. I see product launches that are just a copy of a PDF.
Yeah. Hiring notifications.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so HR, the whole video thing of having videos on your website of your team, and then your HR team interviewing employees about how they like working at your company. That's a whole nother bucket of videos.
Sure. That's true.
But that PDF, don't do it, folks.
Yeah. Turn
it into a video.
Yeah.
You have a great opportunity to capture someone's mind share and advance a call to action.
Do you know, I have, I just finished delivering a strategic roadmap for a client, and one of their competitors during the course of this exercise actually launched a new website, and it is the bar setter for competitors in this space. This is not my client. This is one of their competitors. They did a really good job. And one of the things that I thought was just on it was So they're in the B2B space, complex enterprise stuff that like it's all relationship based, and they put the pictures of their account executives and ways to reach them, and then the calendar appointment to reach them. It was right there, very personal. I find that the closer you get to that personal connection, when you're ready for that part, you take away the mystery. Who's going to answer this phone? What kind of an expert am I talking to? Like, that's the expert I want to talk to. That's exactly what I need. It's like, yeah. And if you could see it in video, like more often, like that's the personality that I connect with, because you can't get that out of a picture. Even better. I love that.
Right. So employee bios, especially if you're in sales, and you're customer facing, so a lot of companies have outside salespeople that go and sell stuff, and the customers have to call into customer service, and a lot of times they have a better relationship with that customer service person because they're dealing with their transaction, solving problems about the order.
Right.
That customer service person and that salesperson, when they put an employee bio in a video, it connects. People get it.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
So I'm just going to toss out a pro tip for the viewing audience here. If you're looking for someone who can help to guide your organization in the use of video, let me give you like the subtle clue to look for. If you're trying to find the guy who lives, eats, breathes, sleeps video in business, find the guy who's looking into the camera when you're talking with him. I've been watching you this whole time, John. You look into the camera and here's what happens is like,
I know
your eyes are on, it just looks like your eyes are on me. And in any other Zoom conversation, the impulse to like, my eyes wander right there. It's much higher than when I'm on a call with you, because it feels like
you outed me.
You're right there, man.
I know.
These are the subtle signs. Subtle signs, people. Look for that.
There's your first tip.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone,
it's a good move.
That was free. We planned that.
Yes. Very good. I mean, it's thanks. Like that's the guy you want to be on the phone with. So like really already impressed about what's going on here. One of the things I want to do though is make sure that if we can, because that is one. So that's the first free one. I'm hoping to get 2 more free ones. Can you just toss it out? Like they're looking for guidance. They're ready to kind of get started, trying to figure it out on their own. What are 2 quick tips that you can give businesses on realistic things that they can actually do like next week?
15-second and 30-second videos of subject matter experts just talking like they talk in front of a customer.
Okay.
No scripts, no, just, talk to me as if I'm a new customer and I know nothing, and educate me. Yeah. I think the other one is that a lot of people are uncomfortable in front of the camera. And and I've worked with a lot of, salespeople who are, they're cagey. They can be cagey.
Sure.
And I tell them, hey, so you have no problem getting in front of a group of, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. Practice. Yeah. Just practice. And then use your cell phone and practice at home when no one else is listening. The beauty of a cell phone is you can delete it. It's not a hard take. So you can practice over and over. And then review yourself. Yeah. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. I've worked with a client that was just, I'm not going to do this. I'm not getting in front of a camera. Right. We went from that to setting up his office with a camera to where he had a brain fart. And he was like, this is good. I like this. We're going to talk about production improvements. Boom, hits record. He just talks about what he went through that day. Wow. Okay. Right on the spot. Went from, I'm not going to be in front of a camera, to making it so that you can just click a button, have 2 or 3 things come on and go. Yeah. So I have another question, but I'll actually toss on my own pro tip for this, for the camera shy. It's building on the tip that you already given us, which is looking into the camera. And it's like this. So if you're comfortable getting onto a Zoom and laying out your knowledge with somebody, because you have a face to look at, right? What you're going to get is not a face, because you're going to be looking at the camera when you do this, but you're going to know they're right there, and their ears are your ears for the audience. That's it. You're talking to John or whomever you get on that Zoom. Yep. And it may not be your most natural because you're still looking into the camera, but it's going to be a lot closer than your least natural, which is nobody else is listening and you're just in the void and talking to no feedback. So
to get you one step closer, that's actually the recommendation I have. Pick somebody on your team and just swap back and forth. Okay, I'll record. No, you record. The other thing is, so I find a lot of businesses, and this has been true for me for a long time, which is, man, if somebody would just tell me what they want to know, I would jump in and make a video like that fast. But developing the channels where people are consistently bringing you the questions, consistently telling you what we as the market wish to be hearing from you as the expert, that's hard to do. It takes a long time to get that kind of flywheel going, to build that kind of trust with an audience. And then what are the recommendations that you have for businesses to get a feel for, what should I be telling my audience today?
Great question. Start with your salespeople. Have them tell you what are their most frequently asked questions from customers. Like, what do they get on a regular basis? It's a great place to start. You're not playing whack-a-mole. You're just being able to deliver that info. And I would also go as far as, if you've got let's say you've got a product that you developed, go back to the product manager or the team that developed that product. And what was the VOC? Right? What was the VOC that made you make this product? And what's driving this? And what problems does it solve? And not in a salesy way, but just, here's the facts. This is what our research showed when we talked to customers. The voice of the customer said this. And if your salespeople go, right on, nailed it, then it's good to go.
Dig that. I have maybe one other thought on that I have found useful for my clients, which is, so the sales team, yes, the sales team is going to be your first line to get the questions. Those are the people who are telling you the questions that the buyer's journey needs. There's another, I found, rich vein of sort of learning what the audience needs is in your account management team, like the people who are interacting with your existing customers. And what I have found, especially if you're in like the type of sales where it's high ticket and you're regularly in touch, you have like monthly or quarterly touch-ins with your clients, right? To maintain the relationships. It wasn't a one-time purchase. It's an ongoing relationship. Add to the agenda, whether that was the monthly or the quarterly agenda, for the interaction that person has with the client, the question of, what are you guys in the market trying to learn about these days? What are some of the key areas of research that you're undertaking? Are there new technologies that you're looking into? I mean, whatever the questions are that you want to frame, but do it under the goal or mission of, we're trying to do everything we can to be the best partner you guys have. And part of that for us on a sort of a mission or purpose basis is to be your source of information. So every quarter I meet with you, I'm going to write down the things that you're looking at that quarter or that month, so that we can do our best to be the source of knowledge that you continue to turn to. So just like, what are your top 3 right now? And just write them down. And then like, if you do that, if you're in like a meeting with multiple people, write the name and the role of who said what. So you kind of gather that information and then use that to also inform some of the videos that you're creating.
Yeah. Right on. Spot on.
Yeah. Right on.
I think that helps companies lean into the future, right? Because if their customers are trends are moving towards particular technologies or ways they're going to buy, or what are they looking into? And then the goal of the company is to be the trusted authority, not 100%. Just a subject matter expert. And the value of, like, when somebody Googles your company, if you did all these videos and you also used that scripts for blogs and you put in the right keywords, you can stop paying Google for word ads.
You're right. So here actually might be another area where we can
organic growth.
Totally. This might be another area where we can offer some more quick tips. So let's say you're producing a couple dozen videos a month, maybe more. There are ways to make those videos perform for you in terms of how you use hashtags, how you use backlinks, and how you craft your descriptions. I don't mean for you to give away all of your magic, Jon. But
we've just scratched the surface.
I know there's so much. I know
Yeah,
there's so much,
yeah.
but in this, I think is a really strong area to provide some guidance. What are some quick tips you can give us for how to make sure we're getting more than just, yeah, my information's out there, but that video is working for me as it's out there?
Yep. Great point. I help companies set up KPIs on consumption of wherever that video is. Now, if somebody sent a video file and somebody else is running it, you're going to lose the connection of consumption. And that's fine. You know, if your distributors or dealers want to use it, that's great.
Sure.
But we built kind of a spider web of first and foremost, your website, right? Get that content converted to script, use that script to a blog. That's first place to start. Then certainly put it on YouTube if it's public information or it's going to help somebody in their search on YouTube, because Google's the second ranked search engine. If you think about that.
Yeah.
And believe it or not,
YouTube. YouTube, right. Yeah.
YouTube, sorry. Google first, YouTube second,
right.
TikTok third. We'll get into that later.
I'm going to faint.
I know. I don't want to go there. I have personal, just anyway. And then what we do is we load up their sales team's library. Yeah. We load up their CRM. So they can easily pop that into an email template, or they have it at their disposal to just grab and send. We show them there's a ton of other video platforms. And then, so I recommend Vidyard or Vimeo, the sales tool, right? Where you do the embed into a video and you can record your screen or from your phone, those quick introductions, and then attach product or content. So that's for the sales team to deliver. That's just kind of asynchronous videos. And then there's a variety of other platforms that you're out there. Then I would say if you're on a learning platform like Bluevolt, then you want to be able to upload that and turn it into a product training. Yeah. So, like most videos that are about problems that they solve are great training videos. Right. Yes. Right. For salespeople that just find it. There's so many more like those.
So I'll talk about a tool that I like just quickly. I use Temi. Temi is super easy for turning a video that you have into a transcript. So if you're looking for you want a 5-minute project to turn a 30-minute video into a transcript and then import that transcript into the captions section when you post it to YouTube. Done. Yeah. Makes that so easy. Temi. Temi.
Yeah. Great.
And cheap, so affordable, like really affordable way to get a transcript. Right. Take a pass because there's going to be some interesting.
Well, you're like me. When you go and look at your credit card statement, I have what's called subscription creep.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, oh my God. It sounds great when you're signing up for something, like, oh, that's only, $20 a month, That's great. I just added to the 200 other subscriptions I got at $20 a month.
Well, I get into this conversation a lot with my clients. They're looking to consolidate their vendors. I'm like, I go to my credit card statement. I'm like, I need to consolidate my vendors. So yeah, that's been a good tool for me, is the
that's great.
Temi for transcripts. Very good.
Good point. I've never heard of them.
Well, right on.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you're digging that. So here's one last tip I'm going to put out there, which is if you haven't got a good flywheel coming in, maybe you're just a small shop, you don't have the horsepower to get that kind of inbound information for the questions that you could go and answer.
Right.
Let's say you sell cameras. Let's say you sell mountain bikes. Start a Google search that says, what's the best camera for? And then look at so Google will tell you what people are asking. They're going to auto-populate the next question. They'll say it's for weddings, or they'll say it's for sports, or they'll say whatever for the camera. What's the best bike for? And then it'll say mountain riding, road riding, or like whatever it is. That'll tell you what people want to know about products in your industry or what they're searching for. So use Google's auto-populate feature to tell you what questions are getting asked the most about products and services in your sector.
You know what? That's so spot on. when we work with clients and we go through their frequently asked questions, I tell them to Google it. What comes up? And if you don't have content, organic content to drive, like you need to put that in the title and the subtitle, and you got to repeat it in the video. You got to repeat it in your website. You got to be able to push that up so that when people do go to Google and type that question in, you're on the first fold.
That's
right?
it.
That's the goal. You know, it used to be, I don't know. And I remember like research, it was like people don't go more than 2 pages deep. They don't go more than half a page deep.
There's more than 2 pages. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, this has been like, I've learned a lot, man. I really appreciate you taking time to lay this stuff out. I want to do this more. Want to do it again.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen again, please.
Yeah. My pleasure, man.
Any like salutation sign off you want to give to the audience, some encouragement?
Well, I hope they've learned something, and I hope if they've been inspired,
yes,
go to my website. There's certainly more content there. evolvevideomarketing.com. And you want to have a conversation, follow me on LinkedIn. DM me direct. Glad to just have a conversation about video. I
have found that's absolutely true about you. I know there's some people who put that out there. I'll have a conversation, and they have like, other agendas. I mean, from the time we met, man, you've always just been open with your guidance. It's genuine. If anybody's out there going, I am looking for somebody. Yeah. John, please get in touch with John. He's going to help you out.
Right on. We're educators. We're not salespeople anymore. Right. Like I actually I had a client, and in the very beginning of the engagement, I grabbed his business card and I said, by the time we're done, you will take sales person off your business card, and you will put, RV advisor.
Great.
Right. You're an advisor. You're just, you're just keeping, you're just kind of doing this with customers.
Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Because what I want to do is I want to save this for next time. I want the audience to hear your story about the RV dealer, or actually it was the trailer dealer. It's right on. We're going to just tease that out there. Amazing story about the trailer dealer. So we'll put that out there for next time.
Yeah. Right on. Right on. Thanks,
cool,
Colt.
Man. Hey, thank you, man.
Yeah,
right on.
Awesome.
Appreciate you having this conversation.
You bet, buddy. Take care. And roll credits.
Cool. Dig that. So this is your recording.
Yeah,
right?
I'll pump it out. I put it on the hard drive. So
okay.
I'm gonna I think it's recording in MP4, if that's okay.
Yeah, we could play with any of that. I mean, there's definitely some sweet clips that I'm excited to use. I expect probably the same is true for you. We'll get it posted in full. You probably want that in. I might put it in my featured section on LinkedIn. I know I'm going to host it on YouTube, and then I'm going to grab some clips. And then, hey, if you want to listen to this full interview, go check it out.
Awesome. So if you post it, I'll share it. We'll say it's the videos for my benefit, but it's content for you, right? Like
that's right.
And if I say like, this is your it came across as this is your podcast.
Yeah.
And if I share it out, then you'll get the back traffic. And
works for me, man. Awesome. I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you what do you do, like a cut in like introduction?
No, I don't even actually have a podcast. Well, I'm on a podcast, but that's Elevate.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So let me throw this out. I'm going to do a podcast. There's another guy like me. He's in Toronto, right? We're all we're doing the same thing. And I've been kicking around this idea of doing a podcast called A Customer Asked.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go in and answer those questions. Right. And how do we better, we just answer the question and use examples, and hopefully it resonates with the audience. But, we'll have like it'll be like 20 minutes, and we'll try and answer 3 questions. And I got a ton of them, right? Like million. And yeah, so that's an idea, and I would love to reciprocate and interview you.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Right. And then say, quick understanding of what you do, and then go into client asked me, and you tell me what your top 5 questions are that you get.
I would love to do it, man. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. This is fun. This was easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for the part where I forgot to. So I was going to throw in, and I have a hack. I have a teleprompter that I can put the camera behind and put a dumbass.
What? You were looking at the camera the whole time. What's the problem? You nailed it.
No, I wasn't.
That's what it looked like to me.
I was looking at you.
Well, then your camera's in the right place, because it looked like you were looking right into the camera the whole time.
Oh, good. That's great stuff, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna stop.